Ty Robinson. The defensive tackle from Nebraska.
Wow. Interesting. Ty Robinson, the defensive tackle from Nebraska. Fran breaks it. This is a player who is a little bit older, but you're talking about starting caliber traits, explosive upside. He tested out of the gym at the Combine. Tell us about Ty Robinson.
Yeah, sixth-year senior. Will be 24 years old when training camp opens here this summer. But I thought the tape was good on this player. I honestly thought he could go in the latter stages of day two. I saw kind of a workman-like defensive lineman. This is honestly, it goes a little bit again. When I watch him on film, I didn't see a player that was like stood out like overall with the athletic upside. He went to the Combine and tested well. I mean, ran 4.83, which was a good number for a guy his size. The jumps were outstanding, as you mentioned. So all the athletic profile is going to look very, very strong. But honestly, I kind of like this because this is a high character guy. He was a team captain at Nebraska. Speaking with people in that building, they rave about Ty Robinson. That coaching staff has a very high opinion of that player. Very stout on contact, holds up well in the run game. More strong than powerful. I didn't think he was going to be like a instant pocket pusher type, and can get a little bit better as a rusher, but ready out of the box as a run defender, able to change the line of scrimmage. It's a nice player, nice stab on day three.
He's also someone that I've heard, I mean, not to say this is the reason why you do it, but like off the field jumps out in terms of the interview process. I heard he was one of the best interviews that some teams had at the Combine. So look, I know the age isn't ideal here, but the play and the athletic testing are all things you like.
Let's make this our golden nugget hidden gem as the Eagles taking Ty Robinson, the defensive tackle from Nebraska. Obviously, they lost Milton Williams this offseason. There's a hole in the rotation to add a guy, and Ty Robinson will be added to the mix in the fourth round. Fran, he is your defensive tackle 13.
Yep.
As I pull up your scouting report here, you had him pegged in the third, fourth round, and I see more blue than red. Although, actually, I see a lot of red towards the end.
Decent amount of red, decent amount of red, but not, again, it was more like technique stuff, and wasn't all.
Well, that's right. You don't want a polished 24-year-old. You want a 24-year-old who doesn't know how to play.
No, he knows how to play. That's what I mean. Like, he knows how to play, especially in the run game. I think that pad level can be a little bit of an issue at times. But again, I thought there was enough there that this is a player that can be a quality rotational piece along the defensive line.
Oh, we got an Australian Eagles fan announcing the pick. Ryan Haroyd.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Let me read the quick summary on the player. This is from the draft guide. Become a diehard, and you get access to all this before the draft. 4-year starter in the Big Ten with NFL size to be a gap-eating interior player. More of a line of scrimmage dweller than an upfield penetrator. He's ideally not on the field on rush down due to some athletic limitations that I saw on film, but he has the anchor strength and heavy hands to be a reliable run defender early on. For teams that utilize multiple fronts, he brings added value because of that position versatility. A little bit of a late bloomer who took off in his sixth and final season. Don't see a consistently impactful player, but a key cog in a rotation up front as a depth piece. Now, again, went to the Combine and tested really well. And honestly, when I wrote him up, some people that I know in Nebraska were like, "Oh, what did you think of Robinson?" And I gave them that scouting report, and they're like, "He's more athletic than you're giving him credit for." And I was like, I don't know. I thought he went down to the Senior Bowl. I thought he was solid but unspectacular down there. And then when they tested at the Combine, my guy at Nebraska was like, "Oh, see, I told you he was more athletic than you were giving him credit." So, I could have just been wrong in how I viewed the film. But I think this is a fine value for this player.
Do you have a guy in every building?
No, I don't have a guy in every single building.
My guy in Nebraska. Go ahead.
No, but to that question, the Eagles do have a connection to the Nebraska program. Obviously, Matt Rule's there, and they know Matt Rule quite well from when he was at Temple, and so there is that type of connection that you're getting good intel. But if you take away the age which you can't take away, I get that 6 years in college is a long time, right? It's like Van Wilder-esque. But when you just look at the way he played last year, the production from the interior, the frame, and then I keep going back to it, like off the field, this guy kept coming up as sparkling, like absolutely sparkling. And so I don't know if that's the reason why you take it, or like why you take a player, but this is the day, to give kind of context, the Eagles have their passion meeting and the Eagles showed video of this last year, so about an hour before the draft, Howie Roseman brings everyone together, and he tells the scouts, if there's someone you feel strongly about, let us know right now. And it wouldn't surprise me if, from like a Red Star perspective, in terms of the things that they're looking for from a player, Ty Robinson presents that.
Now, just to put a fine point on it, at 6'5.5", 288, this is a player who rotation-wise, you're expecting to be more of a third down guy, not a first and second down guy. Is that fair?
I actually, on tape, I liked him more on early downs than I did on late downs. I think that now, athletically, when you look at the testing, that would show, he actually should be more of a third down presence. The one thing that I get a little weirded out by profiles like this. You talk about he's an old, right? He's going to be 24 years old, 6th-year senior. Before this year, he never had more than 2 sacks in a season. Before this year, he never had more than 4 TFLs in a season.
It's not ideal.
When he went back for that 6th season, that's where he had 13 TFLs. He had 7 sacks. He had 11 hits on the quarterback, 25 hurries. All of them were career highs. And so he took off in that final season where he was the 23-year-old in the Big Ten. That's one of the things that kept me from really putting him a little bit higher on the board. But great defensive tackle class as well. So he's on a typical year. He's in my top 10 as a defensive tackle. In this one, it kind of bumped him down, but those were some of the alarm bells in the profile for me.
I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I'm a little bit uninspired.
He's the best D tackle
the
left.
Third player of this draft class is a guy who, by the way, is 1 month older than Jalen Carter, which is not dissimilar to the situation the Eagles had last year when they drafted Quinyon Mitchell, who's a year older than Keely Ringo, despite Ringo being drafted a year prior.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up John Carr there, because I was actually going to do that with Moro Ojima, right? That Moro Ojima's birthday was August 2001. In this case here, Ty Robinson was May 2001. So Moro Ojima's younger as well. So he's older than probably your two similar penetrating defensive tackles.
Yeah. That's okay.
But it's a 4th round pick, right? And
it's a 4th round pick, but it's their third
it's their
pick
third
of the
pick.
draft.
That is true. Yeah, that is true.